Hi, today I'll be covering revisions requests from Unison's Live Music Workers Fund application. If you've received an email from Unison stating that your application requires revisions, but you're not sure where to start, this video is for you. Once you've submitted your application, you'll receive an email that looks similar to this. We have received your application to the Live Music Workers Fund. Please see the attached PDF for a summary of the information you've submitted. We will review your application and provide you with a response outlining next steps as soon as possible. If you require assistance or have any questions, please log into the Unison application portal, open your application in the Under Review section, and use the Notes tab on the left panel of the screen to submit your questions to Unison staff. We strongly recommend saving the PDF attached in this email. If the status of your application is under review, it means that a funding coordinator has been assigned to your application and will be reviewing it for eligibility as soon as possible. If the status of your application changes from under review to revisions requested, it means that we now need you to either add more information to your application or edit something that's already there. In this event, you'll receive an email that looks like this. Thank you for your application. Upon review, your application requires some revisions. Please log in using the link below to modify the application in the In Progress section. Please respond to any requests for additional information in a timely manner. Applications will not be fully processed until a complete understanding of your role in the Canadian music industry has been established. If you require assistance or have any questions, please log into the Unison application portal, open your application in the In Progress section, and use the Notes tab on the left panel of the screen to submit your question to Unison staff. So the first thing you'll do is click on this link, and it will take you to SmartSimple. It might take you to a login screen first. In that case, you would just enter your login information, and then you'll be brought here to our SmartSimple homepage. So what we're looking for is the In Progress tab. So you'll click on that and then open your application. Once you've opened your application, it's time to identify the issue. You'll see the requested revisions at the top of the page in red here. Now, I'll go through some of our most common revisions requests and how to fix them. So we'll start with an incorrect ID. If you've uploaded a photo ID that is expired or has an outdated address, you'll be asked to provide further documentation. To do that, you can upload a valid alternative piece of ID or a piece of official mail like a utility bill, bank statement, or a letter from the government. I'll show you how to attach that now. So you can click this button that says Upload, and you can do one of two things. This folder here will allow you to browse through the files on your computer. And for this example, we'll be doing a piece of mail. And then it'll be right there. I'll also show you the drag and drop method as well. You'll open your folder, and we'll do this with a passport example. There's your passport. And you'll just drag and drop it into the file manager on your browser. And then you'll see that they uploaded successfully and they're both right there. So you'll click the X. And don't forget, after every change you make and every new document you submit, click the Save Draft at the bottom here so that you don't lose your progress or any of your work. It's important to note that once you click the Submit Revisions button, you will not be able to make any further edits, but you will be able to communicate with your funding coordinator through the Notes section on the panel at the left at any time. So our next most common revision is unclear work history. We need to know your live music history prior to the pandemic as well as all other relevant music work. We don't need to know about non-related work or future music plans. You should provide a list of live music dates you worked prior to the pandemic that includes the year, location, and your specific role. A comprehensive list is best for live music workers in the early stages of their careers, A selection of recent highlights is often sufficient for more established individuals. Sometimes CVs, resumes, or past performance details don't clearly provide the information our funding coordinators are looking for to process an application. So here's an example of a not so great resume. You'll see that this isn't relevant information. It might be a job that was worked part-time to supplement income and isn't music related. And there is really no other information on this document. This is more along the lines of what we're looking for: music-specific information with a list of dates, locations, and specific information in preferably chronological order. So I'll show you how to upload that now. So again, we can click on the upload button, we can browse, there's our resume, click open, and there we go. And as I showed you before, you always have the option to drag and drop, and there it is. Our file's been uploaded. Hit the close, and like I mentioned before, after every change, make sure you're clicking the Save Draft button, and be aware that once you press the Submit Revisions button, you will not be able to make further edits. So please be certain that you have made all the edits you need to before pressing that button. Another of our most common revisions requests is that we require 55% of your income to be made through music. If it's unclear on your application whether you make more than 55% of your income in music, you may be asked to provide invoices, advances, letters of employment, etc. to prove this. For that information, you can do the same thing that we just did in the CV, bio, or letter of employment section. You'll go to Upload, Browse, input your document, open, and it'll show up, or you can drag and drop. If you don't have a show history or a list on hand, it is also acceptable to put that list of dates and places in this text box to support not only the 55% income from music, but your work history. Our last most common revision is business expenses indicated. In this very last text box, Unison provides financial assistance for personal expenditures but does not fund business activities. Briefly outline why you're applying for assistance and what your most essential needs are. Unison cannot provide funding for business-related expenses, so each applicant must clearly state that any acquired funds would go towards personal expenses such as rent, groceries, or debt accrued from living expenses. Anything unrelated to maintaining your daily life is considered an ineligible expense. So this one is pretty simple to change. You'll just delete this in the text box, and then we'll draft up a better response here. During the pandemic, I was living off of credit cards. I could use these funds to pay that down and catch up on rent. Any variation of this statement is totally fine. If you're writing that you need grocery money, rent money, paying down credit cards because you've been paying your rent with credit cards, all of these are acceptable and they can go right there. And then once you're done, do not forget to click the Save Draft button. And if you've completed all the required revisions, click Submit Revisions, and your application will be sent back to our funding team for evaluation. If there are any additional revisions required, you'll get another email and you'll just repeat this process until we have everything that we need to push along your application. If there aren't any more revisions required, your application will be sent to the next step and you'll receive an email as to what exactly that entails, and you'll just follow those directions until your application is ready for payment. If at any time during this process you have questions, you'll tab over to this Notes, hit this plus sign, And you can type any of your questions here, and once you click save, they'll be sent off to our funding team and somebody will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and give us a follow on our socials for information about Unison's funding programs and services.